breath with me.
During my days of addiction, I was seeking peace and relief from years of accumulated childhood trauma, pain, and abuse, along with generational wounds to which I had no idea what they meant or that they even existed. I didn't know who or how to ask for help. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to because I was scared. I was scared of being judged and labeled an addict. I was about 11 years old. I didn't know a word of English. I was an immigrant child, and there was other kids that would look down on that. And I became subject of bullying and discrimination. And eventually at the age of 14, I was introduced to hard drugs.
Prisons are considered the most traumatizing environment in the world. And for these individuals to be facing that on a day-to-day basis, already coming from intense trauma, to me it just feels like a gross indecency. The intervening factors of what leads people to deviancy, as we say, poverty, homelessness, addiction, racism, intense familial abuse, neglect. And sometimes it's not anything. There's so many people in prison that are innocent.
Out of fear of putting my life in danger, my family's life in danger, I stood quiet and waited for the truth to come out. But the truth never came out. And I was sentenced to 32 years to life. So I was charged passive. I was the person that committed the crime. Growing up in Los Angeles in a gang-infested community, we were faced with the question of which gang we were going to be a part of. This is around the same time that other kids are contemplating colleges or universities or what they're going to do in the future with their life.
A lot of people in the program that have been incarcerated since they were 13 or 14 years old, and they never got the resources they needed to get out of that pipeline. There are so many people that just needed help and they never got it. So what we're doing now is trying to help. Yeah.
I haven't seen my parents since last time I seen them was 2017, before COVID. I've been in prison for 24 years, and when I seen them, it broke my heart.
A single parent, my father. He was a workaholic, alcoholic, and a womanizer.
My great-grandmother, she was Navajo Indian, and she would get drunk a lot, and I ended up finding out she would abuse my grandmother. So like he said, it just carries down.
I'm actually using all that stuff that's happened to me, the sexual abuse and all the stuff that happens in the system, basically as a learning and growing tool.
And that led to me being a victim of very violent assaults when I was 13. And he faced no repercussions for it. He didn't get arrested, we actually talked to the cops and he cried and they let him go. As a kid, for years, I was like, well, why isn't he in jail? I have so much evidence all over. My body is evidence and it's not enough and I don't understand. I have a hard time not seeing like every person that commits a sexual assault immediately as a villain, right? Because it happened to me. You kind of have to move on and you have to accept that you're not a victim, you're a survivor, and that the people that are incarcerated aren't the people that hurt you. And that's why I'm here. It's the main reason why I'm here. Yeah.
And I want to apologize to everyone for all the wrongdoings that other people have done to you. And I'm sorry that it's just so unfair. And I'm sorry for all of the messed up things that you guys had to grow up with. And all of the things that might have impacted the choices that you have made.
Thanks everybody for sharing, for being vulnerable and having that trust within us. So far, this has been the most impactful group for myself.
Okay. Jeremy, good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Brandon. Thanks for facilitating. Really well done. Good job, Junior. Yeah, you did amazing.
Well, Megan is a blessing, man. People have given up, and she still chose to reach out to us, and that speaks volumes about her, you know. But being able to take the program and then be able to come back as a facilitator and share the impact the program had on me and what I've learned throughout my life, and see that my story has value and it helps other people, man, it's powerful.
You know, people struggle with, like, what's the meaning of life? Why do we even exist? What gives my life meaning is being of service.
Every week is different, and it's not something that you can really prepare for, and that's the beauty of it. We all go into the group after we do our meditation without knowing what's gonna happen. But we do have a topic, but after I introduce the topic, they don't have to speak on that if they don't want to. If they have something they want to get out of their chest, or they got something that they're going through that they would like to share, like this could be the time and the place.
It was as bad as you can imagine. I was a crack baby, abused. I mean, would be locked in dog kennels for weeks on end while they're out doing whatever, trying to kill each other.
I had to remind myself, you're black, you live in San Diego. I had one black juror on my trial.
To see the emotion and to feel that energy within that group where we all become vulnerable, and we know we're in a place where judgment is not allowed, you know, and we all open up and we allow strangers, complete strangers, into our heart and into our mind and our traumas.
And, you know, I appreciate you guys opening up, and, you know, that is to the heart. You know, thank you guys for, you know, your kindness to us and everything else, helping us learn.
Well, I mean, yeah, we might have different social statuses or different ethnic backgrounds, but as human beings, we have more similarities than we have differences. I hope to watch this video 5, 10 years down the line and look back at myself and say, this is where it all started.
If it's more of a rehabilitation center and less of a frightening, dark prison, people then start realizing that these people will be our neighbors. They'll be our neighbors maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. And what do we want in our neighbors? We want them to feel whole. We want them to feel as though they have a life that is worthy of purpose. And that is what a lot of the programming is about processing past traumas, which over 90% of all people who are incarcerated have suffered extreme forms of trauma throughout their life. So the idea of focusing on treatment versus pure punishment is hugely successful in terms of the end result, which is your neighbor coming across as a human being rather than someone who has not been treated, who is unhinged and most likely going to recidivate.
When I see these individuals go to programs and I see them interacting with people and they come out and they still want to be helpful to the world, it really tugs at my heart.
Having volunteers coming into the institution and starting programs like Empathy in Action is a huge step for us to provide the type of programs we need for the guys to be successful.
Just when you see it click in their mind and then them open up and get emotional, especially about, you know, all the things that they've done and the things that they've learned from those mistakes, and they know that they can be better, do better, and have a more positive future ahead of them. They have hope.
Part of the California model is normalization. Having volunteers from the outside community coming in and actively participating in these types of groups, they want to help you succeed and hopefully one day help you parole. The correctional training facility is one of the leaders in the state in programming for their incarcerated population, And to keep that going, we need to continue getting volunteers involved in these types of programs.
If these birds are caged, they become depressed and they end up dying. And I believe that's what happens to a human soul when we become incarcerated, especially if you're incarcerated for a crime that you did not commit. Now that I look back on my days of addiction, I think about what would have happened if I would have asked for help. I wish I would have tried. Maybe, and just maybe, my life would have turned out a little different. And that thought often haunts me.
Hell is where we're all reaching. This clash is all of our ideals. In the light, in the